Here's another idea for using the flow stack. So this is a 1 minute NQ chart. Got my favorite key levels on the chart. I've got the flow stack painting the candles green and red. It's also printing the delta numbers for the NQ. Just the NQ, no other instruments. And I've only got one threshold on the chart. The delta has to exceed either positive 100 or negative 100. So here we get negative 109. The candle colors continue to be printed bearish until we get a move in the opposite direction. None of these candles went over 100 positive delta until this candle, positive 112. Now the candles are being painted green until we get a negative 220, get a red candle. After the close of this candle, a little 25-point drop off there, getting a hold up at a 50% level from the MMT 50/50 right there. So on the 1 minute NQ chart, having a threshold of 100 is one of my favorite settings for catching an initial delta push in one direction or the other. That threshold would be different on a different time frame, like a 5 minute, and it would also be different on a different instrument like the ES. This 100 delta level threshold setting I would only be using during the New York Open session. I would not use this during Asian session or London session. I could always just use a delta threshold of 0 if I want to see anytime the delta is positive or negative. So the 100 threshold level I'm only using on the NQ 1 minute chart during the New York Open session. Highly recommend playing around with different thresholds and settings to see what might work best for the instrument and the time frame that you like to trade. I've also got the MMT tick trader on the chart. It's printing these black arrows for tick collapse signals and these orange arrows for tick speed divergence. Using this in conjunction with the flow stack trend, there's a couple really nice trades right out of the gate. Later on in the morning, we got a tick speed collapse signal to the upside, but this candle is definitely a mixed bag. We've got a nice bottom wick, point of control down into the wick, that is also bullish. But the flow stack just went bearish, negative 116 on the delta, and we do not cross that positive 100 threshold until this candle. And in the meantime, we've gotten some tick speed divergence and a washout signal right here. Big bottom wick, point of control in the wick. We're wicking right off of a nice cluster of key levels. We've got pre-market low, London open here. Flow stack finally goes bullish, closing above VWAP, pop up 70 points in just a few minutes. We get a hang up at this cluster of key levels with yesterday's New York Open and a special volume level from the key levels and also a previous day value area high from the extra levels indicator. Pull back to the 20 SMA. The 20 SMA holds. We bounce up to this 50% level from the 4-hour time frame. This is from the MMT 50/50 indicator. I've got an ultimate key levels package that includes 6 of some of the best MMT indicators for support and resistance levels. I've got 4 of them on this chart. Here's a nice washout signal, huge top wick. Flow stack is staying bullish until this candle. We get the negative 105 delta threshold cross. Candles turn bearish. We get a nice pullback down to the 250 SMA. Then it's after 10:30 when I'm usually done trading for the day. So just a very simple way that you can use the flow stack. I've only got one condition. I've got the MMT polarity washout signals and a couple of tick trader signals, and then a bunch of key levels that I'm using for support and resistance. There's a lot of power in keeping things simple. I like to have a lot of options to play around with, but I'm always coming down to my base trading setup of a 5-minute chart, a 1-minute chart, and a 60-minute chart. I'm always looking at key levels. I'm always looking at delta and order flow, and I always like to have some kind of divergence or reversal signals on my chart and some kind of way to monitor the trend. On the 5-minute chart, there was some great trade setups as well this morning. This is basically the same as the 1-minute chart I was just showing you, except I've got the delta for the NQ and the ES on the chart, and the thresholds are set at 0 for each instrument. So anytime both the NQ and the ES are negative, I'm getting the red trend change, and anytime they are both positive, I'm getting the green trend change. So here both instruments are positive, but then we start getting mixed bags, so it just stays bullish until both are in alignment. Then we get the bearish candle print. Lots of negative delta coming in on the NQ and the ES right there. Nice full body candle to the downside. A little bit of a top wick. We wicked right off of a previous day VWAP close. Check out how many times this previous day VWAP level got honored throughout the day. The previous day VWAP closes are part of the MMT Ultimate VWAP indicator. Not much in the way of signals on the 5-minute chart this morning, but at 11:10 we started getting some tick speed collapse signals. We've got a whole bunch of key levels right in this area, kind of chopped around in this area. FLOWSTACK went bearish. Some pretty strong delta coming in on the ES right there. The size of this candle body was bigger than the last 4 little dinky candles. Got a nice move back down to this 4-hour 50% level in this previous day VWAP close. But no other signals from 9:30 to 10:30 when I'm usually trading. Just monitoring the delta on the NQ and the ES. So I just took that 5-minute chart, I duplicated it into a new window, and then I changed the settings on the FLOWSTACK. So this is the same chart template as the 5-minute NQ chart template from the Super Scalper chart workspace setup that's available in the MMT chart templates. So for the FLOWSTACK, I disabled the secondary instrument, so it's just monitoring the main chart instrument, which is an NQ 1 minute on this chart. And then for the signal condition, the only thing that I'm using is the delta number threshold, nothing else. And for my delta number threshold on the main chart, I've got it set to 100. And again, this level would just be something that I would use for the New York Open. I would not use this threshold for the Asian session or the London session. And I would also use a different threshold on different time frames or different instruments. If you just want to see when the delta is positive or negative for your delta threshold signal condition, you can just type in a 0. That way anything above 0 or below 0 will count as positive or negative for the delta number threshold signal condition. The only other thing that I changed on this chart, instead of having a 50 SMA on the 5-minute chart, I changed this to 250 since I'm using it on a 1-minute chart. So there's some more ideas on potential uses and things that I'm looking for in my own personal trading. There are links to all of the MMT indicators in the description. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Anyone that's out there using code MonkeyMan at Lucid, Take Profit Trader, Tradeify, you're the best. Thanks so much for your support. I wish you best of luck in your trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.